All right, we are sitting in-house with Coach Rush Probst and Coach. Last week you guys took on Lexington, round 2 of the playoffs. Dominant win, I believe it was 43-6 at halftime or 43-7 at halftime.
Yeah.
Went on to win in dominant fashion, but just take us back to last Friday and how that all transpired.
Well, that Lexington came in here with some energy, and I thought they're pretty well coached. And, I think Brent Mask has done a good job of trying to change their culture. They had not been physical in the past. They have been physical this year. He told me he didn't get there till May. I'm very pleased with their culture and how they approached the game, and they were ready to play. We just out-athleted them, and in every aspect. But they fought hard, and they played hard, and they've had a good year. So, I'd probably vote on Brand as one of the coaches of the year. He's done a great job there to get it turned around pretty fast.
This week you're taking on an opponent you've already played earlier this season, and the old cliche, it's hard to beat a team twice, especially a good football team. TA, you know all about them. You broke them down once this year. They looked a little different this year, but you guys look different this year, or second time around. But just take us through this process leading up into this game in the third round.
Well, the first time we played them, the game plan really turned completely upside down from what we had planned to do. Kylan had just a phenomenal night, and I think that it's usually right opposite of what I want to do. I want to be balanced on offense. That's just the way I am. Multiple formations, multiple shifts and movements, and it's what we're going to do. I mean, that's who we are. So I think our two receivers have really come on and played well. I think Coach Wright would tell you if he's watched a lot of film on us, and he has. Grayson Malone and LJ Mostella have really stepped up as wide receivers. And Mac has stepped up as a quarterback. He's on 22, 23 touchdown passes. So, although I know it's going to be wet, if it's not raining, you can throw. And they're going to throw it. We will too some. So, we may not throw it as much as them, but again, I think we have to be balanced offensively and be able to. We do have the two running backs. Kylan can play in the space. He can play in the running back spot. Joseph had a great week last week. So we have good balance. And Mac is no longer a 10th grade quarterback. He's got those games under his belt. I've always said that. Sophomores become juniors when you get into playoff football, especially around that second, third round. But TA is a 4-wide, 3-by-1, 2-by-2 team. They do get what I call some 20 personnel to run the ball some, but they really want to put the ball in the quarterback's hand. He is a great football player. I'm very impressed with this kid. I think he's a Division I quarterback. They snapped it 80 times against us last time down there, and we could not get off the field on third down. And I've had a lot of people watch that tape for me, consultants, guys that I trust. They could have scored 42 on us last time, at least 42. And they dropped balls. We picked one in the end zone and stopped the drive. We blocked a punt. We get it into 2. So that game, although the score looks one way, it really is not the way it looks. Yeah. When you look at the statistics in that game could have been right down to the wire, and that's what I worry about. So it's going to be wet. I don't know how wet. We don't know, but again, I think that we got to be balanced offensively. We have to be smart defensively and not give up balls over the top. And but when you do that, Bo, the quarterback, he's so patient. He'll take what you give him.
He's athletic as all get out.
And you can't hardly tackle him. He's a good scrambler. Yeah. And he's got a cannon front arm and throw it over the top. But if you back up, he's going to be patient and take what you give him. So it's sort of going to be one of those give and take deals, and then see where it falls. So I think it's a great matchup, and I expect a really tight ball game.
Yeah. How much better is it? You don't have to travel 2.5 hours to play them. You get to play them right here in your backyard.
I'm glad we ain't got to go back down there. So they were great hospitality people. I mean, the people there were phenomenal. Yeah. I mean, treated us great. So they're good people. Coach Wright's a great guy.
Yeah.
Their fans were great. The players are really good kids, and so there's no animosity between the two. I just don't believe in all that anyway. So, go play the game, be as physical as both teams can be, shake hands at the end, pray at the end if that's what the other team wants to do, and then we'll move on. The winner will move on to the next round.
This the old saying, you've had a pretty good season if you're still playing and the grass is dead. I was on my way in today. The grass is dead here at Coosa, out on the practice field.
Lord, yes.
That means it's been a pretty good year, but it's definitely not your destination where you want to stop right now. So you got to continue on. So before we shut this down, Coach, I know you got a lot of stuff to do today. It's a late week and a very important week for you guys, the most important week of the season. But just final thoughts on everything, just keys to the game without giving any of the game plan away, the things that we got to get done.
Well, I've been in 21 or 22 quarterfinal games in my career. I think I've been 5 high schools or 6 high schools that I've coached at. We've been to the quarterfinals. The quarterfinals are a unique round because that's where you separate eliteness and having a good year, like you just said. And I've always said, if you're playing Thanksgiving, you're really had a really good year.
Yeah.
Now Georgia a little bit different because they play deeper into December, but I think that's this game, like I said, separates elite teams versus contenders and teams that have had good seasons. So, I looked at that bracket and I looked at every quarterfinal matchup across the state and every classification. I also looked at the Georgia second round games. This time of year, high school football is it's in the limelight. It's what we play for, really. And I think you're starting to see it now in college football. Why I think that I'm not trying to get down a rabbit hole, but that's why they got to go to 16 teams, because there's going to be some 10-2 teams left out in college football. They probably could get hot like Ohio State and win. And I use that illustration in high school football. But I have coached teams. 2010, we were 5-5. We made it to the state championship game and had 685 yards of offense, 38 first downs, but lost to Brookwood because our defense wasn't good.
That's crazy.
And 17, we were in the same situation. We played 7 straight weeks on the road in a row all the way to the state championship game. We got beat on the Hail Mary. Should have won that game. If you looked at the regular season, you'd have thought both those teams had no chance of competing for a title. That's the beauty of high school football, though. It's the beauty of pro football. And I think hopefully college football can get that memo and get it to 16 teams where more teams can have a chance to win. And I just think that's so important. I like to use that illustration that there'll be teams in high school football in every state that'll get on that run at the right time and can pull off a tremendous season that maybe people thought they couldn't do, that they do, and that's what makes it the beauty of it, in my opinion. So I think you've got to wash 10 wins, wash region championship, wash everything else, and it boils down to this 2.5-hour ball game on Friday night, tomorrow night, and the team that plays the best, is focused the most, that wants it the most, will win the game. And I think that's the biggest thing I've learned I've coached in over 100 playoff games in my career, which is 10 seasons of football more. And I've seen some crazy things, bro. I've seen some things and that will just blow you away. So nothing surprises me anymore. Nothing with high school kids in a high school football game on a Friday night, especially when you throw weather in. Yeah. I've also, the last thing I'll say, tomorrow night's going to be wet, possibly rain, but wet for sure. Field's not going to be in great shape because we practiced on it this week, because our field's dead and no lights on it. So we had to get on our game field for the first time. Yeah, the first time. We stayed off it the first 2 rounds, but this round we had to practice on it. So it's chewed up a little bit. It's thin. So, but I tell players all the time, and I've told coaches, how you play football in November, late November, early December is completely different than how you plan to play it in August, September, and mid-October. Because my game plan sheet over there that I've been dealing with all morning, is usually I have a script done by yesterday. I don't have a script done right now.
Wow.
That's based on weather and what I want to do in weather. And then, so I got to go to practice day with two plans. I got to have a regular plan and a wet weather plan. And so that's another issue you have to deal with, and how you determine that is won't be determined until tomorrow afternoon late. So I think walk through, film, study, all the things you do are all bottled up because of weather. But that's something I've got experience in and have done before. Because I've lost ball games before. I lost a big semifinal match in 13 at Norcross because I didn't handle the rain very well that night. I had a really fast Highland type running back, you know, and we're inside the 15 like 5-6 times, and he could not get any traction. And we kept trying to do things that he was not capable of doing on that bad turf. And if I had it over to do again, obviously I had some other situations that I would have used that would have been better. You know, I learned some of that growing up watching NFL play in January with snow and slush and all that stuff. That game's played differently then than it's played during the regular season. So, with all that being said, to finalize my thought, you have to have a plan. You lean on those 100+ ball games I've played in playoffs, and I've been in some rain games before, slushy, sloppy games. And I'll lean on my experience there to come up with a plan that best suits our players for tomorrow night.
Yeah, people don't think about those elements. They look on paper and they say, "Oh, Coosa beat them, you know, earlier this year,
exactly right,
by 20, 30 points, whatever it was," and then they think, "Oh man, this is," but a turnover here, a block punt there, a wet ball drop, you know, and this thing can flip on a dime.
No doubt, you know, no doubt. I tell people all the time, Bill Clark beat me in 06. You know, we were loaded. We were ranked number 1 in the nation, and of course we'd lost to Johnny Curtis, played Bill in the state championship. They block a punt. We fumble a punt.
He was at Prattville, man.
He was proud. And then they scored right before half in like 3 seconds. They had a fingertip catch in the back of the end zone. You take those 3 plays, and that was the difference in the ball game.
It's crazy.
And so just those 3 plays. If we don't fumble that punt, we don't get that punt block, and we prevent them from scoring right before half, we may have won that game. Now they still may have beat us. Not saying that, but those are the minute things, the very small things in that small capsule of time that you have to look at, and they're magnified. The margin of error in playoff football in November, December is very, 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 very small.
Yep.
So you gotta be on the P's and Q's.
That's right. And these guys are fighting for their lives over here.
They are.
And pressure's more the pressure, you'd say, like,
well, there's pressure, and there
would be on Coosa because they're at home and they're expected to win, and the media's telling them they're great.
Yeah, they hear all the social media mess. As Coach Saban said, rat poison.
Yeah, and it is.
It is rat poison. There's no questions, right?
They hearing it at their families sitting down at the table. Oh, y'all should kill this thing.
Yeah. Oh yeah. And there's other factors that I want to get in. That I don't want to get into, but there's other factors that affect our team, and I think that, you know, the biggest thing is the reason we go to the hotel tonight, to sequester, to guard. We take their phone. We don't let them interact with the outside to listen to all the night before the game noise.
Yeah.
They're focused on 3 things: sleep, focus, and nutrition, and football, 101 and 102. Meetings, walkthrough, film. Meetings, walkthrough, film, nutrition, rest, hydration.
Yeah.
So those are things that I've always done. And I think if you look at my winning percentage, staying in a hotel during playoffs is pretty high.
Yeah.
So, not saying we can't get beat, we can. But I think our teams are just way more focused about it. And I think, you know, and I had this conversation with Mark a few years ago about the hotel stuff. And he started doing it, and I think that you have to do it, especially with kids in today's world, man.
Oh God,
it's the best money you will spend.
Yeah, I agree.
So when you start in January, you just might as well $10,000 or whatever it's going to cost you to stay in a hotel for that year. You need to budget that. Go raise the money, and you got to do that.
That's right.
I tell people that all the time.
That's right. No, it makes sense, and it gets them out of the environment.
It does.
And
bad environments a lot of times.
Yeah.
Bad environments a lot of times.
Yeah, that phone right there can destroy you.
girlfriends, kids who don't have as much to lose as you do, or don't have the same goals as you do.
Talking heads.
I can just roll them off, man. I've seen it. I've done it. Before I started this, I started doing this at Hoover.
Yeah.
Started staying in hotels back at Hoover around 04. And it's worked very well for us over the last 21 years.
Yeah, absolutely. Coach, good luck to y'all, man. Looking forward to, we'll have somebody out here for the game. I appreciate you. Thank you.